In this Typeform review, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this support tool. If you have any questions, please comment them below, and I'll also leave a discounted link so you can always get your money's worth for Typeform. Typeform lets you create forms, surveys, and quizzes that people enjoy answering. Once we log into Typeform, we come over here to the home page. Our workspace is currently empty at this time, so if we go right ahead and click on Create Typeform, now here we have a few different options. We've got the option to start from scratch, use a template, or create it for us. So first, I'm going to go on Start from Scratch. We can then give our Typeform a name. We can select what form we're creating, so we can choose from Research Survey, Request Form, Registration Form, Quiz, poll, Payment Form, Order Form, Lead Generated Form, Feedback Form, Contact Form, Checklist, Application Form, or Other. So I'm going to go for Quiz, click on Continue, and this will take us over to this page. We do also have the option to click on Show Me the Highlights, where it will give us a little tour around. For now, I'm just going to go on No Thanks. So here we've got our first question that we want to ask. It's automatically set to hello, what's your name? But you could change this to whatever you want. You could then add a optional description. So I could put please enter below, and then they can type their answer there. We do have some options on the right hand side. We've got type, we've got short text, long text, multiple choice, contact info, phone number, statement, picture choice, ranking, yes or no, email, opinion scale, net promoter score, rating, matrix, date, number, drop down, legal, file upload, payment, website, or Calendly. I'm going to leave this on short text for this one. We then have a settings option below there, where we could set it as required or not required. You could also set a max characters, so we could enter an amount in there. We then have options for image or video. So we've got our options there, but we could also hover over that, click on change image, and we could upload our own image there, select an image so we could search for a high resolution photo used from Unsplash, search for a video, we can choose there a high resolution video from Pexels. We could choose an icon, or we've got our gallery section there. So I'm going to go for the snowy mountains. That will then update. We've also got the edit button, where we can change the aspect ratio, we can change the adjustments, so rotate, flip, color, the brightness, and its contrast. And then there's also filters, so you can add a filter on top of that. And then once you're happy, if you go and save, we then have the layout option. So it's automatically set to having the picture on the right hand side. You could have it in the middle like that, to the side, the left hand side, covering the whole thing. I'm going to leave it on the standard on the right hand side. We then can also select the focal point. So if we move around that, we can move that along. Could go up, down. Then we can set the brightness as well, and include some alt text. Next to question, we also have design, where we have brand kit, and also themes, where we could choose from gallery. So this is the default theme. We've also got plain blue, plain dark, Barceloneta, and more. I'm just going to leave it on the standard. And then next to that, we also have logic, where we have a few different options here. We've got content, branching and calculations, create rules to branch flows or calculate prices. And this will probably work a little bit better once we've got more questions. But if you wanted it to always go to nice to meet you, how is your day going? I think that makes sense, but you could also add a rule. Hello, what's your name? Is equal to, is not equal to, begins with, ends with, contains. You could add that into there, or you could also add a condition. There's also endings, so there's outcome quiz. So you can recall information with the at. It automatically does the nice to meet you, how is your day going? You could also add an ending and select another question. There's also score quiz, where you can assign points to answers. Data, where we have variables, where your score can equal a number, enter a starting value, or you can add a custom variable. Then we've also got hidden fields, which brings external data to your Typeform. You can add a field, add email, name, product ID, or user ID. Now we've just got two questions there at the moment. As we can see, the next question is the nice to meet you. If we wanted to add another question, we could go on the plus there at the top for content. And we've then got all these different options that we can select from. So if I went for multiple choice, I could go, how did you find out about us? A, could be social media. B, TV advert. C, Google search. Or D, other. And then on the right, we've got that same set of options. Now, say if we were done with our questions and we wanted to add an ending, we could click on the plus there to add a new ending, and you can choose from end screen or redirect to a URL. So you could redirect it to your website. If I went on end screen, however, it'll take us over to here, and we can type in our goodbye message. Next to create, we also have connect, where you could integrate an array of different apps. We've got HubSpot, Google Sheets, Excel, Slack, just to name a few. If I scroll down, you can see we've got loads of different ones there. This is split up with integrations and webhooks, so you could also add a webhook there. We can also share this, so you have the option of copying the link, starting a chat, launching an email, or you can embed into a page. And there's quite a few different options there. And then we also have results, which will give us our insights. Obviously, no one's taken our quiz yet, but once they did, we've got data for views, starts, submissions, completion rate, and time to complete. We also have summary, which at the moment says no signs of movement, but again, once people are taking our quiz, we'll get data here, as well as responses, which again, will have data once people have taken our quiz. So if we go back over to create, so we've got a couple of different options at the top. We have the option of previewing this. If we click on there, this will preview as how our customer would look at it. And then we've also got the option to publish, and then we've got ourselves a link which we can copy. We could share that via email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or by QR code, as well as, like I said earlier, embedding it to a page or connecting it to one of our apps or integrations. If I go back onto my workspace, then our Typeform test quiz will appear here. Now, say if you wanted to work from a template, you could go on use a template. It's worth noting as well that you do have the option of importing your questions. And we've then got loads of different templates to choose from. We can choose from quiz, feedback, research, lead capture, and more. So we've got a cultural fit quiz template. We have registration templates. We've got applications, order forms. We have a poll. So just as one example here, we've got a funny poll template, which I think I'm going to go for today. It's got 7 questions. Time to answer is about 1 to 3 minutes. So if I go and use this template, funny poll, click on continue. We can obviously set the first question to what we'd like. I'm going to leave that as it is. It's quite funny. The customer will obviously click on sound stupid. I'm in. As we can see, we've got our options here. They've each got an image. We could obviously change this image. We could upload our own, or again, choose from one of the Unsplash gallery. We can also add another answer in there as well. So set our own image. So I could drag in a cat. Then we could type in cat. And then we can obviously just follow through each of these questions and set them to how we would like. Again, we've got the same settings on the right hand side for question, design, and logic. And then we've got our create, connect, share, and results. Now, if we wanted Typeform to create a form for us, we could click on create Typeform and go on create for me. And then you can choose some questions you want to go into the form. So you could do full name, email, date of birth, book an appointment, click on create my Typeform, set the name, and it will automatically add these in. You can obviously add more questions, add your own ending, and we've got those same options as previously. Back on the workspace, we do have the option to share this to teammates. If our workplace had multiple members, then we could share this with them. We also have some options where we can rename or leave the workspace. We can filter our forms by date created, last updated, or alphabetical. Leave them in a grid view or put them in a list. And we can also add a different workspace. If you had multiple workspaces, you can search at the top, and you can also search for the specific type forms as well. Below that, we also have our responses collected. So we've got 0 out of 10. As at the moment, we've not had anyone do our quizzes or forms, but once we did, we would start getting those responses. We then have apps and integrations, which we looked at before, which has got loads of different integrations and apps. And then we've also got brand kit as well. And that's just about everything. So what are my thoughts on Typeform? Typeform is a really straightforward way of creating surveys, forms, and quizzes. There's a wide array of different customization options, and I also really like how you can choose from a selection of templates. They also make it really simple to integrate within other apps. I would definitely recommend Typeform.